the call? Has everybody listened to the new coach kickoff call, whether you were on last night or the week before or caught the recording? Yes? Good. And then the second thing, has everybody made their way through the first unit that is in the Facebook group that says New Coach Training University? Has everybody got through that so far? Okay, perfect. So, and is anybody, please do not be shy. If you, for any reason, are confused by the way the Facebook group is set up or the way that you're supposed to be getting information or the names of things, like, will you let me know and just ask questions? You can either drop it in the chat bar or you can unmute and ask me any questions. So is there anything that just confusion around the way the process works for the training and the resources and where you're getting plugged into? Anything? If you're good, just give me a thumbs up. All right, good. Just want to make sure we're organized because I know it's so easy to lose all of the important information. All right, I'm also going to tell you that my computer really dislikes me at this moment, and sometimes it freezes and it makes me have these really weird faces. And so I apologize to you ahead of time if my computer freezes on you. I am so sorry. But today is the first of our series of 4 coach training calls. And so over the course of the next 4 weeks, my goal is to help you get confident and comfortable with our product catalog, but also to help you sort of launch your business and get comfortable with posting on social media and sharing your story and a little bit of the expectations, like what is it that we expect from you over the next 30 days. All right. So that's a little bit of what, you can expect to get from this group. All right. So what we're going to do today is, last night we did the new coach kickoff call. And one of the things that I talked about was launching your business and just how important that part of the process is. And so I want to take a few moments to just walk you through posting on social media, launching your business, and inviting to the challenge group today, because that's really what we're going to focus on, because our goal is to get at least 3 people enrolled into a challenge group, and that will allow you to get what is called Success Club. So Success Club is essentially our rewards program here at Beachbody, and it's January, so it's a new year. And so let me just take one moment and explain what that is. So if you go into your Coach Online office, and when you're in the back office there, we call it Coach Online office, back office, you'll see where it says events, and then there's training. And so on one of those tabs, and I can't remember if it's events or training or rewards, you actually can click on the tab that says Success Club program. And so what Beachbody does is every year they have a trip that you can earn as a coach for achieving Success Club points consistently every single month, right? The second thing is they give you rewards for consecutively hitting Success Club. So when you hit it your first month, you get a Beachbody hat. When you hit it your first 3 months, they send you something else. And then when you hit it for your first 6 months, you get another prize. And so basically, the reason that we reward you for Success Club and for that is because that means that every month you are bringing in new growth over and above what you did the previous month. And so we know this in any industry, right? My best friend is a chiropractor. And so when he treats his clients, they come in and they maybe see him for 6 or 7 sessions. And once they're to a point where they go into maintenance mode, they may not need his services every single week or twice a week like they were needing his services. And so as a chiropractor, what does he have to do? He's got to market himself. He has to ask for referrals. So he's always looking in at bringing in new people. It's the same thing in our business too. It's just that we get rewarded for that, right? So Beachbody has a reward system to say, are you bringing in new clients month after month in order to grow your business? And it's a great little benchmark and a tool that you can use to help kind of say, what's my rate of growth? If I get more than 3 clients a month, then I am making more money. I'm making more commissions. If my clients stay on Shakeology or on the performance line or reorder Beach Bars, every time their reorders go through, that's an opportunity for you to earn a commission. So a lot of what we do is new growth, but it's making sure that we're constantly supporting the clients that we do have and helping them achieve the level of success that they desire. All right, so hopefully that makes a little sense to you guys. All right, so let's move on. So when we're looking at that benchmark, I want to make sure that everybody knows by January 28th, the goal is to achieve Success Club 5 at minimum. And last night I had you go through your Success Club tracker and make those 3 little squares at the top, because I want to make sure that that's your focus, that you're checking off those squares. It doesn't mean that's the only thing you have to do, but this is like your baseline, right? So if somebody comes in and says, I just want to try Energize, that's fine. You get a commission for that. Or if somebody says, I want to try Beachbody On Demand, great. You still get a commission for that. So it's okay to still have other things, but just know that these are the things that you get your Success Club points for, is your challenge packs and your Shakeology Home Direct, like your home direct stuff. All right. Okay. Now, everybody got that? Good. Okay, so the next thing is this weekend is Super Weekend. So if you listen to the National Wake Up Call, you probably heard Carl talk about it. I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet, but Super Weekend is this weekend. And basically it is cities all over the country, all over the US, all over Canada and the UK are hosting live events. And so, you know, I'm hosting, well, not hosting, but I'm attending one here in Pittsburgh. And, you know, what we do is it's our quarterly event where the company is going to launch where the next Success Club trip is going to be, the rewards for the next year, some new training opportunities. You'll get to work out, you know, do a Shaun T workout with Transform 20. Some cities are having live trainers. So even if you are a brand new coach and you just signed up, go search in the Coach Online office under events and see if you can't find a Super Saturday near you and go to it. I know my first event, I was a coach for like 2 weeks when I went to my first event and I had no idea what was going on. But I can remember going across the screen, the coaches that were in the top 10 had just gone on the top 10 trip and they showed like the highlight reel of them. They went to France and I was like, that would be so awesome. Like how cool would that be if I could go on a trip like that? And then they had coaches that were doing training. They were giving training videos. And I can just remember it like sparked, it just sparked creativity. It sparked possibility. Coaches were telling their stories of like how they achieved success. And I thought, okay, if they can do it, so can I. So you get to hear from me as your sponsor, but there's also power in hearing from other people too. And so I do encourage you to go to events if you can get there. So the next one is this weekend, Super Saturday. Or Super Weekend, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Check and see if there's any local events near you and go. Make a new friend. I promise you it's well worth it. Take a friend, take your mom or dad or spouse or somebody alongside of you. All right? Okay, so let's move on. Up next, let's talk about, and Elizabeth, I will answer that question in just a moment here. So I won't forget to answer that. So let's talk about launching your business. So the very first thing that you have to have the courage to do is to put yourself out there and share that you just opened your doors for business. A lot of times we are afraid to take this first step, and you know, sometimes we're afraid that people might judge us or people might have something to say or might be like, what the heck are you doing and why are you doing this? Or maybe you have been a coach before and you're coming back and you've re-signed up again, so you're worried that you might not be credible the second time around, right? So all of these things, right? I'm not at my goal weight yet, so can I be successful at this? Absolutely, you certainly can. So let's kind of walk through why it's important to launch your business, and then let's talk about the how, all right? So number one, why should you launch your business? Let's take a brick and mortar, for example. Let's say we're going to open up a restaurant. Would you go through the process of getting a loan, getting your insurance, hiring your employees, training your staff, you know, stocking the kitchen and the bar, and just open a sign on the door that says, we're now open for business? No. You would shout it from the rooftops that you were opening a restaurant. You would hang flyers in your local grocery stores. You would put ads in the newspaper. You might even run ads on TV. You might invite your friends and family to come in and taste test all the food and post about it on social media. You would tell your story of what your inspiration was behind starting this restaurant. So you want to treat your Beachbody business exactly the same way. You want to get the word out, but you don't want to just sell a product. You want to tell the story behind the product, because I know that from who I've talked to so far, you all have a story. You all have a reason why you felt called to Beachbody and this opportunity, right? It fit into your life in some way. So whether you are a nutritionist and you say, this is a perfect way to support my clients, right? They teach a well-balanced, healthy lifestyle, and I see how I could better serve my audience by partnering with Beachbody. Or maybe you're somebody that says, I've had great results with the 21-day fix. I know that there are people out there that have no idea how to eat. I could teach people how to grocery shop. I could teach people how to measure their food. I could teach people how to be disciplined when they travel for work. Or maybe you've struggled with something in your past that you've been able to overcome because of the Beachbody community. Or maybe you just had a baby, or you just retired, or the income opportunity is serving you. I want you to think about, what is your story, right? Why have you been connected to Beachbody, and how do you see this company serving your needs, but also serving others? And that's what your post should look like when you first launch your business, all right? And everybody's going to be different. Your background, your age, your gender, where you're from, it's all your demographics. And that's what makes Beachbody so cool, is that there are hundreds of thousands and millions of people out there, and there is a coach for everybody. And there are a lot of people that don't even know that this opportunity exists. So it's our job to really tell that story. Otherwise, people are going to eventually find their way to a different coach, and it's not going to be you. So we want to make sure that it is you. So number one, you can draft up today your launch post. So what do you want to say? Couple of just key important things when you're writing out your launch post. Try to stay away from Beachbody, the word Beachbody. Try to stay away from Beachbody Coach. Stay away from Shakeology, the fitness program you signed up with. Not because I want to mislead people, but because I don't want people to Google what you're doing and go find their own answers. I want people to ask you what you're doing, all right? So if Jennifer is gonna make her launch post, and let's just say she just finished the 3-day refresh, and she puts her side by side together, and she's got these really awesome results, and she starts talking about her business and how she's helping people and how she just finished this 3-day plant-based cleanse, I don't want her to say, I just finished the 3-day refresh and I feel amazing, because now I can go, oh, 3-day refresh, Google, buy it off of Beachbody. All right. And now Jennifer didn't get the sale, and I could finish the refresh and go, Jennifer, thanks so much for the suggestion and telling me to do the refresh. I lost 8 pounds. And you're like, oh my God, why didn't you tell me? I could have given you my link. All right. So you want to make sure that when you're crafting your posts and you're putting content out there, you're putting it out there in such a way that people, if they want to know what you're doing, they've got to ask you. Right? They actually have to ask you a question about it. So that's kind of step number one. The second thing is, we want to be careful not to sell people. All right. So your very first post should not turn people off. It should be informative. So we should educate people on why we're doing what we're doing and why we feel called to it. Just very simply, this is what I'm doing. Here's why I'm doing it. And here are the places you can follow me if you want more information. All right. If you want more information on what I'm doing, send me a private message, like this post. You can subscribe to this newsletter or follow me on this Facebook page or Instagram page, right? There's lots of different ways. Pick the one where you want people to connect with you, or you can simply say, like, follow me here on my Facebook page, and I will be sharing daily X, Y, and Z, and kind of tell people what the things are that you are going to share, or watch my journey as it unfolds. So stay away from actually advertising for your challenge group in this initial post. I just want it to simply be a way for you to say to people, this is what I'm doing. Watch me on this thing. And if you want more information, send me a message or like this post. We're not going to talk anything about a challenge group and sign up, and I'm looking for 5 people that want to join me. All right. The next thing I want you to think about is if you've failed in the past. All right. Let's say you have signed up and you've quit 10 times already, or you have gained 50 pounds over the last year. I don't want you to go on to your post and say, I have failed. I have fallen off the wagon. I'm starting over again. I've lacked in confidence. Like, I don't want you to make it a Debbie Downer post. All right. So because who's going to want to join you if you say I'm a failure and I'm just starting fresh for the first time, right? So what I want, and what I want you to say is flip it a little bit, right? I want you to talk about why you're doing this opportunity and how this opportunity is changing your life. All right. So positive spin. Positive. If you want people to join you, we got to keep it positive. All right. Later on, we can talk about a time when you struggled, a time when you gave up, a time when it got hard. But we're not going to talk about that as your launch post, right? We want this to be positive. We want people to be interested. We want people to lean into this part. Okay. Questions so far? I need a drink. Okay. So last part of the launch post is picture. Picture is everything. If you're going to catch people's attention, you got to catch it with a picture. All right. So people want to see your face. And I'm not saying that you have to, it doesn't have to be a professional photo, but I am going to tell you that people want to see you. I don't want to see this, right? I don't want to see this tiny little square of your head. I don't want to see a motivational quote. I don't want to see a filter with dog ears or a cat tongue. I want to see you. All right. You are a business owner. So if somebody else saw this, would it look professional? Somewhat professional. So a couple of suggestions. If you've already gotten results with the program, do a side-by-side. Best way is for you to put your two photos side by side and share where you're at. If you're 1 week into your program, do a 1 week progress update, share it. If you don't have that yet and you're just starting out, take a picture of yourself. But let me give you a few tips, right? Get good lighting. So good lighting very simply means go into the window and have the light facing you. So right now, my computer's in front of me, right? And there's a window on the other side. So this is making my face brighter. If I was turned around and the light was hitting me at the back of the head, I would look black. Like my whole face would be dark and you would just see shadow around me. All right. So just get in the habit of when you go to take a picture, walking to the light. Go into the light, my friends. All right. And if it is dark, don't take the photo in your house if it's dark. So, when you get those dark and very grainy photos, people are not going to stop. Right? So I sometimes go outside or I stand in the kitchen and I have this tripod, which I didn't show last night. So I bought this on Amazon. It was a whopping $15 and it came with a remote timer that looks like this, right? It syncs to my Bluetooth so I can stand there and hit the button and take a photo. And all it does is it just very simply just goes right in. I can just put my phone right on there and then I just tie it in there. Just like that, just kind of tighten it up, and now I can take a photo. All right. And so I just will set either, if you don't have the remote wireless, like I'd set the 3-second timer and I would take the picture. All right. And so when I work out, when I'm doing my workout video clips, this is what I'm doing, right? I'm using my little tripod. When I'm doing live videos, I'm propping my phone up. And if you don't have a thing, you can just prop it up on a water bottle for now. All right. So that books and water bottles, that served my purpose for like 2 years when I was a new coach, before I got a little more tech savvy. So those are things like you want to take a picture. You want it to kind of be your best foot forward. So do it on a day that you're dressed and you look presentable and that, you would want other people to see on social media. So it's important for you to capture the joy, the happiness, the excitement around this next level of your life. And maybe it's a family photo. Maybe it is you with your kids. Maybe it is like, whatever depicts the start of this business for you, that's what you should be putting out there. So the next thing I want you to do is put these pieces together and draft your launch post. Then I want you to put it into the Coach University and tag me. Or if I'm not your coach, you're going to tag your specific coach, all right? Or you can send me a private message if you would rather me review it privately. And then your job is to post it. Your job is to post it in the next 24 hours, all right? Don't come back to me a week from today still not having launched your business, all right? Don't do it. because you're just delaying it. All right. And I will tell you that I was nervous. When I posted it, I was like, oh gosh, who's going to see this? I remember sort of being a little nervous about it, but just remember, you believe in what you're doing. You're here for a reason. And, you are truly helping people to live their best life. And that's what we do. We get to truly help people be the best versions of themselves that they can be. And we are not promoting something that doesn't work if you don't follow the plan. And I always remember that when I'm talking about the price, when I'm talking about Shakeology, I always think about how much it's changed my life and how I've been able to keep the weight off and maintain positivity and great skin and great hair and great nails and a good immune system and strong bones and all of that stuff. Like, I think about that when I'm talking to people and how important what we do actually is. All right. Okay. So let me just stop and answer these questions and then we'll move on to the next thing. Okay. If someone only wants Beachbody On Demand, is there an accountability group that you can plug them into? So technically, I don't have a group for people that aren't committed to both, but here's what I would suggest is you guys, maybe within the Coach University, you know how I talked a little bit about free groups, like you've noticed like some of the content that I put out there for you guys in prepping, like create your Facebook group. That would be a great place to support those people. So maybe you're just going to pull like Beachbody blog articles, and it doesn't have to be that you post in there every day, but maybe you guys want to come together and say, let's create a community as new coaches where we can put people that are interested, that we can put people that have signed up for a free account, like a place where we can just support people. Or you can say, I'll help you through private message, but I reserve my accountability groups for people that commit to the full package. Just because you do put a lot of time and energy into the challenge groups. And so, you want to make sure that the commission you're earning is representative of the time that you're investing. But you also don't want to tell people you won't help them either. So it's kind of like you're kind of stuck in the middle there. I'll let you kind of use your best judgment on that one. All right. How about live videos? I haven't done one, but how can the first one be? So if you haven't done a live video yet, I would say to you, if that's something you're ready to do, because you're at that point, you have to decide, what do I want my live video to be about? And then write down your topic. So is it like, what's this new business venture? And why did I decide to launch this business? If that's, if you want to do a video, keep it. You want to engage your audience. You want to look at the camera. Don't look at all the people and the comments and who's on live at that moment, and have a point. Like, write out your bullet points ahead of time and say, I'm going to make this live video. You want to keep it under 5 minutes, and you want to have points of what you want to say. You don't want to ramble, and you don't want to be like fixing your hair and looking in there like you're looking at yourself, right? And so 5 minutes is good. You want to get in. You want to engage your audience. You want to have a point. You want to have a call to action at the end. Out. All right. So again, same principles apply to your lighting and that kind of stuff as well. So yes, you can do live videos, but just have some topics. Think about like the questions that people ask you. Is Shakeology worth the price? How do you make it? Why should I buy a challenge pack? Is it too expensive? What's meal prep look like in your house? What do your kids eat? Are they picky eaters? Right? Snack ideas, all sorts of stuff. Like things that people ask you are easy topics that you can use for live videos. All right? Okay. I will be doing a 3-day refresh this month. How would you suggest sharing it? Okay, so I always say plant-based cleanse. I do. And then here's the other thing. Like I shared this last night on that call. Don't wait until you're done with something to share the journey. Why? Because people want to see the process, right? So Jen, they want to see you on day one talk about like your day one photo. You're going to post it front and side and back. And then you're going to say, all right, time to do the 3-day plant-based cleanse. Here is why I'm using this product. This is what I hope to achieve through it. And then this is what my game plan is after the fact. Then on day 2, you show day 2. Then on day 3, you show your photo. And then day 1 to day 4, right? The day after. So you're going to basically walk people through the 3-day refresh. take pictures of your food, put that on your Insta stories, talk about all the different shakes that you're making, but just don't show the picture or don't show the packaging, and say, if you want more information, DM me or send me a message, right? So you want to just kind of drip it along so people are asking you for more info along the way. Okay, do we run challenges groups on Facebook or on the My Challenge Tracker? So Caitlin, good question. So my challenge groups are on Facebook because that's where my audience spends their time for the most part. So you can run a challenge group on the Challenge Tracker app. That is totally okay. You don't have to do it on Facebook. You also have the opportunity to run your own challenge group, or you can co-run it with me. Either way is perfectly fine. I let you decide what you want to do. So a couple of things, and I said this last night, but let me go over it again. So today started preseason for my Transform 20 group and the New Year, New You group. So basically preseason is prep week. That is the week before we start day one of workouts. During the preseason week, we go over meal planning and logging into Beachbody On Demand and making your Shakeology and setting goals. All right, next Monday, day one of workouts. If you have somebody, because you've been a coach for a little while already, that wants to sign up or has signed up or signs up by the end of the day today or tomorrow, you can add them to one of those two groups as long as you are committed to supporting them in there, right? So you have to actively participate and support them in that journey. I don't mind. I have the daily posts that I'm going to do. I have my live videos. You're more than welcome to support your people in there. If you want to run your own group, you can set your own group up and you can just pull my content from my groups and you can use it and tweak it and make it sound like your own. If you don't have anybody that's ready to sign up now because you literally just started, then the next accountability group that you can invite to is going to be my February group, and I'm looking at my calendar. So January 28th will start preseason. February 4th will be day one. So that gives you almost 3 weeks to advertise and talk about the group. All right. It'll be 6 weeks, kind of like what my New Year, New You group and my Transform 20 group will be. And everybody's required to do a fitness program and Shakeology or the performance line. The February group probably will be like a embrace the skin you're in, love your skin you're in, like a self-love, because we'll go into February. So body confidence is important. So that'll probably be the topic for February. So if you don't want to do something like that, then you can certainly create your own group, and I'm fine with that. All right. Okay. So with that being said, Betsy, just send me a private message after this and I'll get you added, and then you will just have to add your people into that group, and you'll just need to tell me what program that they're actually doing too. Okay. All right. So yeah, Caitlin, decide, what do I want to do? Do I want to run it with Melanie? Do I want to run it on my own? Do I want it on the Challenge Tracker app? Do I want it on Facebook? Totally up to you. Ability group. All right. I'm just going to pause for a moment to make sure I actually caught up to real time, because I know that it froze on me. It's like totally frozen. Hang on. As soon as it comes back, I will figure my computer out here one of these days. Oh. Okay. Are we good? Oh, good. You can hear me fine. I'm just frozen. That's the problem. Okay. All right. As long as you guys can hear me. Oh, man. All right. At least you can hear me. All right. Stinking computer. And now you can see me. All right. Not frozen now. All right. So like I had said, our goal is to start creating just a consistent and showing up on social. So here's the thing. And this is the part when you're reading The Compound Effect and you're reading The Slight Edge, those are the 2 personal development books that I recommended. I will never forget the part in the book where they talked about what you do consistently over time is what brings you success. So I look at coaches that show up every day, and they post their workouts and they talk about their nutrition and they talk about their lifestyle. And then they talk about like how they're making it work. They're on vacations and they're posting about how they're traveling and what they're eating and how they're having a cocktail, but they're still working out and drinking their shake. How people that travel for work are packing a cooler and what they're taking with them. Or people with young children, like what are they eating when they're going to the park? You know, like all the things that you are going through that are keeping you healthy, kind of like documenting that along the way. The people that show up and show every single day what they're doing and invite people are successful. The people that show up when it's convenient, like randomly, once a week, every other day, you know, whenever there's a new product launch, then they come back out of nowhere and they decide they're ready to start again. The people that show up consistently over time, that's really where success happens. Because we might get on Facebook or Instagram every day for our business now, but your audience doesn't always get on every single day, right? So you may post 3 stories or 5 stories, and I may not get on social media for 48 hours and I may miss all of it, right? And so if you're not showing up consistently, you're sort of missing people, right? So you need to keep showing up in people's news feeds. And the people that do get on all of the time, you know, you want people to see you. Like, how many of you followed me for a year before you said, I'm going to sign up? How many of you have watched and watched and watched and you were like, I'm either going to unfollow her, I'm going to block her, or I'm going to join her? And she's really annoying because she's really consistent. Like, how many of you kind of went through this? I want to change. I want to do it. Can I not? But then there was one specific post that I did that you were like, that's it. I'm in. Sign me up. Tell me what to do. I am ready to join. And so that's what you want to get to, is you want to be that consistent voice to the people that are following you so that they know that they can trust you, right? That they know that you are legit. You're the real deal. You do life, and you're here to help them. And so that's the message that I want you all. I want you to establish that trust and credibility. And I can't make that happen overnight. That's something that's time under tension. That's something that you have to practice discipline, and you have to understand that it's just going to take time. But that's how you'll start to grow your network. You'll grow your market. I started with less than 100 friends on my Facebook. I didn't have an Instagram account when I started my business. Isn't that crazy? To now look at like how big my feed is and to say, holy crap, she built that at her kitchen table, right? She built that like with her own 2 fingers, typing at 9 o'clock at night, 9 to 11, and 5 in the morning, and on the weekends, you know, like I just consistently showed up. All right. But I also consistently showed up, and I was like, what do people need? What are people struggling with? How can I give them hope or inspiration? Or what can I do to help my audience? And your audience is not going to be the same as mine. And that is perfectly okay. But we got to serve, not sell. All right. So serve, not sell. Remember that. We're serving our audience. I need to write that down. That's going to be a quote for today. Don't you dare steal that, or you have to tag me in it. All right. So anyways, with that being said, that's why your social media is super important. Number 2 is the most important thing that you guys can do. Everything else, how to have the conversations, how to talk to people, that's in the Coach University, right? You can watch all those, go through all those scripts. You can ask questions, use the coach training to ask as many questions as you have along the way. All right. Okay. So questions, things that you have questions about in relationship to the things we just went over. Ask it all. Nothing is off limits. What else? I know you guys have to have questions. Is there an outline to what the initial post should include? So yes. So Michelle, let's go. Let me show you over here, right? So we go into our coach training and we go into the units section, right? This is the units. If you go into the prep tasks, but if you go down to this unit right here, launching your business, there is the very first one that tells you how to launch. All right. Now, I would say the only part that I want you to take out, and I probably should edit this, is like the I'm looking for 5 people to join me kind of a thing. I would take that out. But this is like what you should use. Sample post, no Beachbody lingo, all of that kind of stuff. All right. And then there's some examples of other people's that have done theirs before too, that you can go down through and you can check everybody else's posts that they've done in the past. All right. So you can see all of that stuff. So I think that's really super helpful for you guys. All right. Let's see. What do you use for images on IG stories for advertising challenge groups? So Jen, I do, so it depends on if I'm doing a challenge group, like I use Canva, right? So like this is the one I did last night, and I just made this on my computer basically, right? So you could do it for challenge groups. I save to folders on my phone. I will save people's transformation stories. So coaches from our team, other clients, other challengers that you see, ask them, can I share your transformation? And so then all I do is I either use Canva, or there's another app and it's called Unfold. And that's something you can use right on your phone. Unfold app is another one, and it sizes it right to Insta stories. So then I upload photos. So you can just see, like, I have a ton of transformation photos that I have saved in here, and I'll just like switch out the photo, right? So I'll just take this over, throw in my photo, type my words, and go on to the next. And then I just email this to myself, and I save all my images, and then I upload it. All right. So that's what I do. So hopefully that helps. So I use Unfold or Canva. Those are the two ways that I use apps. Those are the two apps that I use. What other questions? How many of you have a very, very small network of people and you're like, I don't have very many followers and I don't have very many friends, and what do I do to get more people? Anybody? So I did not have very many people at all. And so for me, at first, it was really important for me to say every single day, I've got to go find new people. So let's just kind of look at Instagram for a hot minute here. So if you go to Instagram and then you click the little search, the little like magnifying glass, right? And then up at the top, there's a search bar. When you click on that search bar, it will say top, people, tags, and places. So what I do is I do places. So let's do like near your current location. So when I click nearby, it shows up Pittsburgh, Hinesfield, Cranberry Township, Wexford, Pittsburgh International Airport, UPMC, Lemieux Sports Complex. I can search all of those location tags. And now if I search the sports complex, I now see all these people that have tagged the Mario Lemieux Sports Complex. I can now go through here and I can connect with people, right? And I could like people's photos. I could follow people. I can make a comment on people's stuff. I could find people that have gone to cities that I've gone to. I can look up restaurants. I can look up, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So anything. I mean, there's so many. So that's kind of one way that I start out, is finding like-minded people and following and commenting and creating some engagement, right? I will connect with people that are my friends. So if you look at your personal profile, up at the top right, there's 3 little lines. If you click on that, it'll say discover people. And then you can discover people by your contacts. So you can actually pull all of your contacts in your Gmail, in your phone contacts, and you can literally go down through and say, okay, do I want to follow all of these people that are on my contact list? So you can say yes or no, I would like to follow all of these people. All right. Then there's another one that says suggested. I don't follow coaches. Unless you're my coach, I should say that. All right. Unless you're my personally sponsored coach. I don't follow other Beachbody coaches. I don't follow other network marketers. And if they follow me, I do not follow them back because this is my business page. And so I want my feed to be people that I want to interact with. So it's going to be prospective clients or current clients, right? Or team members that are on my team right now. So that's another piece of advice. You can do the same thing on Facebook. You could go to friends. I went to all of like my high school Facebook page. I went to my college Facebook page, my sorority Facebook page, my church. I used to be in a MOPS group when my boys were really little, and I connected. I sent friend requests to everybody that I remembered in my community just so that when I did post, now my stuff was going to show up in their newsfeed because we were Facebook friends. And so that was my way of not I didn't want to cold message people, but it was my way of connecting with people and at least now getting them to see my stuff. It works. Like it literally works. Okay. So that's another thing that you guys can really also focus on this week is saying every day, I'm going to add new people. I'm going to do my social media posts. I'm going to make sure that I'm engaging with the people that are commenting on my stuff. And I'm going to start reaching out and inviting some people that I think would really be interested in doing that with me. And honestly, that's going to keep you busy, right? That and the coach training is going to keep you busy. The last thing I'm going to say to you guys is this. Do me a favor and manage your time. So you can spend hours doing Beachbody and never sell a challenge pack, all right? You can spend hours on YouTube watching video after video. And how many of you have done that? Like you've started on one place and then before you know it, you're like down a rabbit hole 5 coaches later and you're like, holy cow, what is going on? And then you don't even know what you're supposed to be doing at this exact moment. So a piece of advice, you're in my coach training. You're in there for a reason. It works. If you just follow the process, get on the Monday calls, do the assignments, do what I'm telling you to do, and put blinders on to everything else, you will be just fine. You will be just fine. So that's kind of number one, like put your blinders on to everything else, focus on the coach training, focus on this sheet. Right? So doing this sheet every single day, this is kind of your guide. This is your roadmap. And then set a start and end time and stick to it. So I have business hours for my business. Sometimes it's from 5 in the morning to 6 in the morning. Sometimes it's from 7 at night to 9 at night. Sometimes it's from 2 in the afternoon to 4 in the afternoon. Every day is different, but I always know that during those business hours, I'm going to be doing these things. And then when I'm driving in the car, when I'm getting dressed, when I'm cooking dinner, that's when I'm listening to National Wake Up Calls or recordings or training videos. So I try to use my time as efficiently as possible because I just don't have a lot of it. So I am encouraging you guys to do the exact same thing. Okay? All right. Last questions. Let's see. I posted in my Insta stories consistently, not so much on my regular feed. So Elizabeth, if you're showing up in your Insta stories, right, and not so much on your regular feed, how should I show up and consistent if people haven't been following me? So show up in your regular feed. So start now with once a day, right? So once a day in your feed, and then you can always direct people. Like in your feed, you should say, like, go see my Insta stories. I talk about how I made this meal, or I talk about more about the plant-based cleanse, or so you want to direct people sort of back and forth. As you start following people, you will notice they'll start watching your stories, right? As you start using more hashtags and being a little more conscientious about it, you'll find that you'll start to drive interaction. But it'll get there. It's going to take a little bit of time, but it'll get there. All right. So just be consistent with it. I know it goes away, but you can also direct your Facebook your Instagram stories can go onto your Facebook stories too. You can actually have the two of them connect. All right. On Insta stories, for Insta stories, do you hashtag Beachbody Coach or Beachbody? Amy. So this is what I do in that case. So in stories, you can use hashtags. but you can shrink them down. So you can, I usually use like 5 or 10. And so when I'm doing my story, I have them saved in my notes section. And so I'll do like Beachbody, Shakeology, Beachbody On Demand, 21-day fix, whatever kind of description I have, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, mom of boys. And then I take it and then I just make it small, because you can just like shrink your wording down. And then I just like push it out into the corner. And so then when people are searching hashtags, my stories will show up. I never use like hashtag Beachbody Coach big and bold. It's always hidden if I'm going to use it. Okay. So that's how I use that one. If a person accepts your friend request, you can send them a personal message. Absolutely. If that's how you want to do it, but I just don't want to, I don't typically, unless I'm sending them a friend request because I want to ask them a question about something. All right. If I'm just trying to develop that connection, I don't, but that's also just me. I want you to do what you want to do. Betsy, the mobile version is in the Coach Online office. So you'll just have to go pull that from there. I think it's in the, I'm surprised it's not in the Coach. I thought I had it in there. Okay, I was in the downline genealogy and it asked me to place coaches that I'm not sponsoring. Okay, so you're not sponsoring anybody that you didn't specifically sign up. All right, so Caitlin, you're only responsible for people that you personally enroll. And so what you want to do is when you go in, you always go to the bottom left or bottom right, and you always want to stay on the outside. So when you're in graphical genealogy, you'll see where it says left, right, top, bottom. All you want to do is go bottom left. Then you click the outside empty buddy, the far outside. Hit that button. It'll say, do you want to set preferred placement? You click yes. That person's going to be sponsored by you. You always want to be outside, all right? Then when that person signs up, you would go in, switch it to the other side, and they would go to the opposite, all right? The only people you're responsible for are the people you sign up. If you see other people in there, that's fine. That's your strong leg. And whatever they buy and sell, that's going to accrue as volume. And when you get to Emerald, you'll be able to start to maximize that a little bit more. But just know that you don't have to worry about those people, but you do need to make sure when you're signing coaches that they are far and wide, okay? That's my brief, very, very brief overview to get you going. How many on average hashtags do you use per story? I tip 5. I don't use any more than that. It's usually about 5. Okay. That was a lot of talking. I know that this is so much fun, and I hope that you're not letting the overwhelm factor get the best of you, but it is so much fun to help people. It is also really fun when somebody says, like, thank you so much for changing my life, or thank you so much for helping me lose 10 pounds, or thank you so much for changing my mindset. You really inspired me today to work out. Like, that's the cool factor of what we get to do. And the fact that we get to do a job where we genuinely get to help other people be their best version of themselves is fun. But with any business, you will find that there are challenges. And the challenges for us right now are just navigating, right? We're just navigating through this part of figuring out how this all works. So the last piece of advice I want to give you is something that really worked well for me. So when I was a new coach, the only product I knew about was Insanity, because that's the only workout I did. I had never drank Shakeology. The day I signed up to be a coach was the first time I'd ever sipped a glass of Shakeology in my life. So I told Amanda this. I hated it the first time I tried it, right? Like, I thought it was gross. It was like gritty and it stuck to the bottom of the cup. And I was like, what the heck? And then my stomach hurt really bad because I had horrible nutrition beforehand. So the fiber and my IBS body was like, this is not happening. And so I was like, okay, people say this is awesome. I am going to figure this out. And so I was like, all right, let me go down to a half a scoop, you know? And so I had to really be the guinea pig. And so it took me like 2 weeks to find my favorite recipe. And then once I did, I was like, I'm golden, right? And I was perfect and it was fine. But I'm so glad that I went through that process. I'm so glad I tried every recipe that was on the Beachbody blog, right? Because I found out, like, I don't like berries in my Shakeology. It makes it taste like I get them stuck in my teeth and I don't like the grit. I like bananas. It makes it smoother. If you use almond milk, it makes it creamier. So I liked that I went through that process because it made me better able to serve my people. also, because I didn't know any other program than Insanity, I went into the Beachbody On Demand catalog, which wasn't around then, it was the back office, but the catalog, our Beachbody On Demand catalog, guys, you can watch the little trailers of every single workout program when you click on it. So if you don't know, just go in and play around, like educate yourself, spend time in the nutrition tab, spend time on the product tab, you know, like educate yourself on the different workouts and who they're for, and just watch some of them, you know, even if you just watch a few minutes, just so that you kind of know what we have to offer. That was something that really helped me become a little more confident, was just taking the time to educate myself so I knew exactly what I was speaking about on the calls and when I was talking to people. All right. So that's just a piece of advice that will help you feel a little more confident, but be patient and have fun and enjoy it. And remember, on Thursday, send me your business activity trackers. Every Thursday, it is your responsibility to send me this so I can see where you're at and I can help you troubleshoot along the way. All right. Okay. Last questions, and then I will let you guys go. Elizabeth, you said I signed my husband up as a coach and I put him on my right leg. Was that okay? Sure. I don't know what your right leg is. I don't know if it was your weak leg or your strong leg. I don't know if you're planning on building his business. Like, are you planning on getting yourself to Success Club and then him every month? Or are you just putting him there because he's just a placeholder and you're like, I just want to reserve a spot in my organization for him, so I just signed him up so he's there. So I think that's kind of what I need to know, and I can look at that after the call and I can give you some feedback. How about if I just message you? Does that work? Okay, I'll do that. How do we share a free Transform 20 workout with people interested? Jen, I am thinking about the best way to find it. It is in the FAQs. So if you go into the Beachbody FAQs and just put in Transform 20 free workout, it should pop up. There's a link. Or when you click Transform 20 in Beachbody On Demand, I think when you click the banner, you can like right click it, that takes you to the free workout and you can share that link. I think those are the two different ways. So yes. Alrighty, guys, it is time to get to work. It is time to go out there and crush it. Ask any questions you have. Go into the coach training, post them in the discussion so I can answer them. I will check in there a couple of times a day. That's the best place to get a hold of me, and through Facebook Messenger. If you send me an email, I can't promise that it will be very fast. I just don't love my email, but I do it because I have to. So Facebook Messenger and Facebook in the group is the best two ways to get a hold of me. All right. Okay, guys, I hope you have a great Monday, and I will see you guys later. Take care, and I'll see you next Monday. Bye, guys.